Good morning.
Morning.
It's another week, another match. How have you guys come off of the game this past weekend, and how have been the trainings leading into this weekend against New York?
Disappointed with the outcome. To be honest, as I said after the game, it was more than fair based on how we performed. I know there was chances there for us, but defensively we conceded too many chances. So we take the result, and as always, we look at a lot of things, especially on the defensive side of the ball, to hopefully see improvements, and that was a lot of the focus of training and intensity and being more collective.
Playing Red Bulls this weekend, and at the very least publicly, I'm sure there's a lot of nuance to the way they play each year differently, perhaps, but they're known for their unique style. They're very entrenched in the way they have been over the years. How is preparing for that compare or different maybe than a team who may be more diverse or dynamic in the way they play week to week? Is it different in the way you have to prepare or inform the guys as to what to expect this weekend, or how you guys go into the match? Is it different, or
part of their DNA has always been how difficult they are to play against with their commitment against the ball, to press, to play narrow, to make the game very challenging for teams if you're not moving the ball the right way, if you're not moving off the ball the right way. But they also can play with the ball. If you look at some of the with the ball metrics, they're very good with the ball too. They just don't get talked about in that regard. So they got players that can play on 1 and 2 touch. They have players that have played at a very high level that we know of. And so, yes, they know how to defend in a very aggressive but connected way. It's not reckless, and with the ball they can hold the ball when they need to, and they can play on 1 and 2 touch. I just don't think that gets talked about because of how people perceive them. So the challenge for us is what kind of personnel will be on the field. We know their situation, and what is that going to look like for the last game that we'll see them, or they have 2 games, but this upcoming game, and knowing that there could be some differences of structure and of personnel.
What stands out? I mean, you said you don't know the personnel that could be on the field, but what stands out about what they do with Forsberg and Chupo Moting? Like, what do you see from them specifically?
Well, I mean, with Forsberg, it's always with top players. It's how they read the game, how they move off the ball, whatever the ideas are in the build-up to games, in their preparation. You see players like him that are always looking around to see where the space is going to be. They're anticipating the game quicker than most, understanding when to receive and move on the dribble when pressure's there, and how to play on 1 touch, like I mentioned, know where their teammates are, where the support is. So, he plays the game at a high level. And Choupo-Moting as well, how he moves, within the back line when there's space to run to goal. His movements are very good. Deceptive in how he changes speeds, how he uses his body is he's very strong with that, in knowing how to create his shots. You see even the first goal against NYC, how he uses his body, how he delays a little bit to find his teammate. He's got good vision and looks to be a very unselfish player. So it's not just about goals; it's about scoring goals as a team and winning. So you can see those things with top players, and certainly those are 2 of them.
How's Obi looking in his return to training this
Good.
week?
He's available. So how we utilize him this weekend, we'll see. But he was partial the first couple days, and now he's kind of full go. So it's just a matter of, with the time missed, how do we want to incorporate him into our game day. So it's really nice to have him back.
How do you manage that, like, balance of wanting to give him, you obviously want to get him ready for the playoffs, but also having to kind of protect a guy that's been out for so long?
Well, in the end of the rehab and just how he's kind of pushed over the last 2-3 weeks, it's been done with high intensity, and so he's not jumping into training and this is a shock to his system. And credit to the training staff and medical, everybody involved, sports performance, to get him to this place and his own determination. But it's not like he has hopped into training these first couple of days and we're unsure of what Obi we're going to see. When he's ready, and you can feel his presence. So I think that these last couple weeks have prepared him for game minutes. And like I said, it's how do we want to utilize him this weekend and moving forward, because we obviously have the international break and a period of time where we can he'll get more trainings, and he'll be pushed in a way that is going to be necessary for him to just be sharp as opposed to physically prepared.
And then Matt and Roman, how are they doing? And
Good.
I know you had been kind of cautious with Roman. Is that still kind of the case, or can you kind of push him through?
We can push him through. He's in the Obi boat where how do we want to use him this weekend? He's probably been ahead of schedule in a way where, we want to be cautious. We want to make sure he's ready to go. I think he's there. So, today's probably, the last box to check as far as a couple things, but he was pretty much there the last 2 days. So that's good news. And then Matt he's in training today, hopefully full as well. So they're all kind of in the same bucket of they're back in training. They're at this point available. It's just how we want to utilize them.
I know, you've had some success at their place in recent years, not necessarily last year, but your teams have generally played well there. What is it about the way they're playing at home versus how they succeeded there this year?
For our guys?
For them. They played really well at home this year.
Yeah. Oh, for New York.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a trend in the league. Typically, teams are more dominant at home, and they have been as well. And it's just, for me, it's a great stadium. It's one of the best stadiums we have, and when it's full, which I've seen, the full and not so full, it's the acoustics, the energy. It's a great venue. So. I'm sure that helps them, like most teams, with the atmosphere, with your home fans behind you. So as far as the previous success and failure, it's always kind of where each team is at in the moment, whether it's, you got momentum, whether you caught your opponent on the right night, whether, whatever the factors are. We've had some good outings there, but last year, like you said, we didn't. So hopefully in this particular moment, coming off of disappointment and where we're at, we all recognize, what's at stake to go and perform and hopefully get a result. So I would like to think the motivation to go in there and perform strong with, where we're at and what's at stake is enough.
And I'm sure you're preparing your guys for them to be motivated to play spoiler and getting them ready for that.
Can't talk for the other side. What I know is here's what we can control. The position we're in, the position we're trying to end up. And right now it's hold the position we're in, and maybe with a little bit of luck, we can jump a spot. And so, but all we can control is how we go out and perform. And, what their approach is, I don't know. There's a lot of ways that they can, go into this game with new personnel, with trying something new, or it's the same. And, we have an idea of what that looks like, but we have to be prepared for a motivated team a team that wants to end the season strong. And like I said, we need to make sure we get our stuff right.
Pat, you mentioned the international break coming up here, and not to ask you to look past this game or talk about something after this game, but it does seem like, based on some of the announcements that have come out from some of the national teams, you guys will have a lot of guys on international duty, and you guys you've never shied away from having guys represent the national team being a good thing for the club. But given where it is in the season, is it at all frustrating that this close to the end of the year you might be missing some guys as you try to make your final preparations for a playoff push, and then into the playoffs, I guess it could happen again with another break?
We've experienced this every year. Every team is experiencing this based on our schedule every year, so it's no different, and it's just the reality we're in. So we don't get too wrapped up in guys that are going to be missing. We try to approach this stretch in a way where we get to work on things. We get to see maybe players in different spots, or adjust in certain ways to see, on the back end of it, if there's something new that we can take from, our 4-hour approach going into the final game. So we have a lot of guys that are going to be away with the national teams, and I love that. I love that for the individual player and always for our club. And now that list is growing. And as of today, there's 7, and I don't know if there will be another 1 or 2, but having 7 guys go and get to represent their countries and represent our club is a positive. And we'll figure out in the period of time that they're gone how we push the rest.
Is there any chance, like with Teenage and Kevin specifically, with their teams already being eliminated, that they might come back early? We saw that with Sammy. That's the only
there's a possibility. It's conversations that are not finalized, but it's been brought up. So I don't have clarity about when they'll return or how that's going to look, but we'll see.
And I guess speaking of Teenage, if I could ask, I know I asked about Gilberto last week. Teenage, he's, you've kind of gone to Alvis ahead of him. What, I guess, was kind of contributing to Teenage's lack of minutes, and what do you need to see from him?
A little bit of player form, a little bit of situational, Alvis being on the right, how we've had Lucas on the left, and, whether it was Miles or Nick, Matt in the middle, I think it was more to, how we were seeing Lucas play. But Teenage has been amazing in his limited role as far as minutes. Because if you watch trainings, if you see his level of engagement, go watch our last couple goals when Evander scores against Nashville, when Brenner scores against L.A. Go watch how they celebrate with Teenage. That to me says it all as far as what kind of teammate he is, and that's why we have so much time for him. Is he just wants to help the team, and he's maybe unfairly not gotten some minutes. I think I poorly managed the Orlando game at the end. I think he should have been on the field to see that game out, and that was on me, and that's something that we talked about. So it's not a lack of, I would say, confidence or trust. It was mismanagement, and he's been pushing. He's been pushing for minutes, so it was more, I guess, a coach's decision than his poor performances.